Hey guys, you're probably very aware of all the chaos going on right now, but I just wanted to talk with you lovely people for a few minutes. Will it be a few minutes? I don't know, but I just want to get some things off my chest because I have a lot of my thoughts kept up in my head. It's just good to get them out. So first, this is, in case you didn't know, this is about the Black Lives Matter movement, which is really not a trend. The Black Lives Matter movement, however you want to name it or not, has been going around for centuries. About me and my people, about me and my people getting our basic rights delivered, justice delivered in this country and many more countries around the world. But I know that we are sick and tired of being sick and tired of this. And if we do not do something, if humanity does not do something to deliver all of this, we will destroy ourselves with all of this chaos going around. And I have my notes here on a little computer that I wrote a couple days ago. The phones, the media since they're coming out, they are showing how people are acting in this society. And it's really liberating. Because I just think how many people have gotten away with all of the crimes in this world, in America, because the phones and the recording devices weren't there to catch them in the act. And there's just countless people. And then colorism, not only when the Europeans colonized literally every inch of this world, they instilled colorism into the people that they colonized, not just racism. So colorism affects every ethnicity. Colorism is by saying that the lighter skinned people are better than darker skinned people simply because of their skin color. And then the Europeans would instill that into the slaves so that they could still have control over them. And it's still going on right now. Colorism in this own country and other countries. Yeah, it's just evil. It's evil. And racism is not just for blacks. Racism is for every race on this earth. Racism is let me get y'all an actual definition of what racism is. It is prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior. No races are superior. We should all be treated equally. And then the basis of all this, you're all wondering, why did all this happen? How? Evil has been around since the beginning of time. Since time began, evil has been around. Evil is taught generationally. What you have right now in your head, you will teach to your children and you will teach to your friends and family. So that's how evil spreads. That's how the basis of evil spread. And that's how ignorance spreads. Because you teach it to your children, then your children start believing that, and they teach it to their children, and it's just generational after generation. You're saying that white police, or just police in general, getting shot by black people too? That's true. But I mean, that's not the main point of what we're trying to do here. The main point of what we're trying to do is to end the racial discrimination against black people with the Black Lives Matter movement. That's what we're trying to do right now. People that are looting stores, I've seen videos. People that are looting stores are mainly white people. The white supremacists, they identify themselves wearing all black with sometimes a little red band around them. And sometimes they don't. Sometimes they do it just to blend in with other people. But the media is portraying it as black people looting stores. Black people are looting stores too, I think. Gotta do more research on that. And to all of you saying that we need to be aggressive, peaceful has gotten us what we needed to get in some ways. But I think that the police are living off of our aggressiveness if we get aggressive. They will get aggressive if we get aggressive, and then it'll just be violent. It'll just be turned into a war at protests. Because then they'll say, oh, well, I feared for my life because this black person started getting aggressive, or whatever race you may be in that protest. You don't have to be black to protest. And then this is all going on during a pandemic. We have been protesting as a whole since around the 1900s, I think. Yeah, 1900s. But I don't think we've actually been through one where there is a deadly virus going around just in the air in everybody's systems. Everybody's asymptomatic. And the virus seems to be getting more and more advanced every day. And I think that some people are angry is because white supremacists are afraid of losing control over the country that my people have built, because they've been getting away with things for so long and they've gotten used to it. They've gotten comfortable. So when the country starts to change a little bit, and when minorities are starting to actually be seen as equal and justice is being served, others are telling them what to do instead of the other way around, and now they're panicking. And that's how I feel what they're feeling deep inside. And people have so much more to worry about than the fact that you can't go get a haircut after a little hair salon, or actually sit down at McDonald's to enjoy your Big Mac. Just order the Big Mac and sit in your car. I prefer sitting in cars anyway, because places are sticky. But that's another talk. That's already. People that are saying the virus is fake, there are people dying. There are bodies being piled up in certain cities because of this virus. You cannot have the ignorance and the audacity to say that when some of my friends' family has died because of this virus, and thousands of people dying every day. Every single day. At least 1,000 people. Some people say that it's a hoax, it isn't real, and then they go out without masks, which makes them vulnerable, but then they turn around and get the virus and they're like, oh, everybody stay home, stay safe. And I'm happy that, not because of the fact they got infected, but because of the fact that they realize that this is a very real thing. And they try to tell people that they associate with that it's a very real thing. And maybe they'll listen to that person. Maybe, I don't know, because they apparently haven't been listening to the government or the media or their outside communities. And then another thing about these protests is the police. When whites protest, you can look up videos. There's plenty of evidence on this. When whites protest, there are videos of them being violent with the police. They yell at them, hit them, spit on their faces. They bring AK-47s, machine guns, literally military level weapons to protest the fact that they have to stay in their homes. And then some have even dropped the American flag on the ground. But then with black protests about the injustice that has been going on in this country for centuries, at least 400 years. What's happening? The police show up like they're terrorists or something. They have guns and helmets and shields, and some even have the U.S. Army showing up. And then they are throwing tear gas at them and arresting people for peacefully protesting, like it's back in the 1960s. And then why are they doing the same thing for the right protests, you're asking? Even though you kind of might know the answer, because it's racism. The basis of this. And people are afraid of skin color. People have said that blacks are scary just because you have a darker skin color. You're really going to base a person's life and personality and life skills based off of the shade of an organ that they have? Because the skin is an organ. It's the largest organ in your body, and you're going to judge someone off of an organ. Stupidity. That's really all I have to say. Also about George Floyd's death. Derek Chauvin. How demonic do you have to be to choke out an unarmed black man by the knee who wasn't bothering you for 9 minutes and then have the audacity to smirk in the camera? What sense does that make? None. Can't make sense out of nonsense. The man could not breathe because you had his knee on his neck, and there are places filming all around you, bunch of cameras, and you still did it for 9 minutes. And he called out his mama. George Floyd's mama died 2 years ago. To have the desperation to call out the woman that brought you unto this world, he said, "Mama, I'm through." That might have been, said it was a call for prayer. I read that somewhere. Yeah, it's just why? Why would you want to do something like that? And then others like Ahmaud Arbery, who was killed in his own neighborhood, in his own place. He was comfortable with the place he was running in. He wasn't going out into any other neighborhoods. He was in his own neighborhood where he lives. And then he was killed by, it was white residents. And it took them months to detain them. The police took months to detain them. If he had been a white man, just think about this for a second, theoretically. If he had been a white man, would you think they have acted faster? They probably would have acted faster. Because unfortunately, that's just the way it is. It needs to change. And there are so many other people, y'all. There are so many. Accounted for and unaccounted for. And since, like I said, the media is taking care of all the coverage that's been going on, there are still several dozens, hundreds of unaccounted people that have been killed by the police brutality or civilian brutality. And then the other 3 policemen who were with Chauvin, they watched him kill Floyd. How do you watch somebody murder another person for 9 minutes? Just watch somebody choke someone to death with their knee? You just stand there and be like, how do you do that? What is going on in your mind to just let that happen for a 1/6 of an hour? They could have done something. They had 9 minutes. It wasn't just a simple trigger being pulled. They had 8 minutes and 46 seconds to say something, to do something. And then, fortunately, all 4 of those men are being charged. 3 other officers were charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder. For Chauvin, I know some of you want to see him get first-degree murder, but first-degree murder is defined as murder with malice aforethought, which is mean the intention to kill someone before the killing actually takes place. And then it's like waking up and thinking, oh, I'm gonna kill so-and-so today, basically. I personally believe that Chauvin did not go out to specifically kill Floyd because, he's a police officer. Police officers don't find one target when they're dealing with multiple people a day. However, I do think that he had hatred in his heart that was just waiting to be released if it hadn't been released already on some people. And who's to say it hasn't been released already? We don't know. But if he does get charged with first, it's going to be harder to convict him because they're going to need more evidence. They need evidence to prove that he actually woke up that morning thinking, oh, I'm going to kill George Floyd. And then theoretically, some lawyers will argue about whatever they need to argue about. And then the manipulation of that will cause the jury to second guess themselves. And then therefore, he might not get a conviction. So staying on second I think is the best way to get a conviction for him. People have also charged other people with high charges like first-degree murder, specifically for the fact that they know that they won't get a conviction because there won't be enough evidence, which is how some murderers get off. Once he gets thrown in jail, it's not going to be pretty. It really isn't. Because protesters are being held illegally in jails in New York And then since the police are arresting so many black people from these protests, that means that there are more black people in jail, which increases their vulnerability to the coronavirus, which is running rampant in certain public places like detention centers. For those of you that have given to the cause, that stood up no matter your race or ethnicity, I just want to thank you, really, from the bottom of my heart, because you standing with us instead of us having to be alone in times like this is it's really thoughtful, and I'm grateful. Me and my people are grateful. And for those of you that are saying all lives matter, you're not wrong. You're technically not wrong. All lives do matter, but you're missing the point of this movement. Black lives are the lives that have been constantly oppressed and discriminated and turned back upon for centuries, not just in this country, but around the world. And we were oppressed in our own motherland of Africa, and people are still being oppressed now, particularly in South Africa with the effects of apartheid, and that's still being felt within the minorities. And the police are kind of crazy over there too. They're acting just like the police we have in America. Some police. And also, this video is not, I'm not trying to group together all police in there. There is just a select number of you that are doing bad things. And for all the good police that are being grouped together with that, and you have to deal with that on a daily basis, thank you for just being who you are. But yeah, in South Africa, black people are getting oppressed by their own people. And then the fact that this has gone global and the world is opening its eyes to the injustices that are happening, progress. It's progress. Some people are speaking up and videotaping themselves on media. I forgot to say this earlier. And then the media is blocking them from sharing it. And they're blocking video cams and everything. Just a couple days ago, my mom tried to send something or post something, I'm not sure. And then they wouldn't allow her, the media wouldn't allow her to do that. And they're doing that on purpose so that we cannot be aware of the situation that's happening, and so that we cannot unify against ourselves. And it's just sick. Why would you would want the right-minded person, the common sense person would want equality for the world, for all minorities, not just black people by themselves. One person I like, Denise from a girl group I like, Secret Number, she posted something on Black Lives Matter, and then her company not only deleted her whole Instagram account, they deleted some pictures off the official one too. And it's like the media is trying to block the awareness. What ignorance do you have to have? You would want to unify people and bring people together and to have them aware of the situations that are going on in this world. And you're going to block things from happening. But yeah, send this video. We need to keep fighting, keep pressing, so that one day we can have a world where there is peace. Remember, no justice, no peace, no racist police. Black Lives Matter. Stay safe, y'all.